everybody, welcome back to Vegas Weekly for Saturday, March the 5th, 2022. We're less than 2 weeks away from returning to Las Vegas. Should be a very exciting week, and whether you're going to be there or not, you're going to want to follow along right here on the channel. We will be live vlogging the event, bringing you the events just a few short hours after they happen. I'm guessing there might be a few live streams popping in from time to time. And I've got some interesting videos planned that we'll be showing you over the next few months. So it should be a good time, and I hope that you will join us. If you haven't already clicked that subscribe button, please do so. You're going to want to follow along with us here. Last week we wrapped up our Vegas 101 series, and with only a couple of weeks left before returning to Las Vegas, I was kind of strapped for an idea of what to focus on these next couple of weeks. And I thought maybe we'd return to a topic that is near and dear to most every Las Vegas visitor's heart, and that is Las Vegas hotels. There's very few cities where the hotel is really sort of the star of the city. I mean, you might go to Nashville, you might go to Phoenix, great cities, lots to do. But you don't think about, oh boy, I got to stay at this hotel. There probably are a couple, but you get the idea. When you go to Las Vegas, it's all about the hotels. And so today I wanted to focus in on 5 properties on the Las Vegas Strip that I think are a great choice. They are not necessarily my picks for the 5 best properties, so keep that in mind. These are 5 properties where I've enjoyed, in many cases, most cases, staying and playing, and I will give you some thoughts that I have on each of those properties, some of the positives and a few of the negatives that go along with it. And I encourage you in the comments below to search your memory and search your experiences. Let me know what your 5 favorite Strip properties are, and maybe a little bit about why. Next week we will go downtown, and I'll talk about the 5 favorite downtown properties. So that's something to look forward to as well. Okay, so keep in mind that these are in no particular order. I just kind of started on the north end of the Strip and worked my way south mentally. Our first property on the list is the Wynn, or Wynn Encore. I basically thought of it as one massive hotel complex like the next door Venetian and Palazzo. Even though they do have separate check-in areas, separate casinos, whatever. It's basically one big property with a very similar design and everything like that. I've had the opportunity to stay at Wynn several times over the past few years, thanks to their Wynn Slots app initially. I did get a deal from having from my casino play the last time that I was there. That was not a comp, but was reasonable given the amount of play that I've given them. So it is not a cheap place to stay, but typically it'll be in a similar range a lot of times to places like Aria, Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, Venetian. And in many ways, I think it's a better choice. The location here is a downfall. You are not in the middle of the Strip, although sometimes that's nice. You don't have nearly as much foot traffic wandering through the casino as you would at a more mid-strip located property. But you do have a number of other large properties nearby. I mentioned Venetian Palazzo, that's right across the street. If you need access to different shops and restaurants and a change of pace as far as the casino is concerned, you're not far away from either Treasure Island or the new Resorts World Complex. So if you're interested in spending some time at either of those places, it's a very short walk away. And you're also right across the street from the Fashion Show Mall, which is a great place to pick up, some sundries or other things that you might need while you're in Las Vegas. Now, as I say, it is expensive, but I think you get what you pay for. The level of service here from the time you check in until the time you check out is top-notch. I really can't think of any place in Las Vegas that has been better and more consistent than the Wynn. So you'll really feel taken care of here. You'll feel like a valued guest, even if you're just a common person. And there are a number of properties that I've stayed at or played at on the Strip that I never really felt comfortable at. But for whatever reason, the Wynn makes me feel comfortable. From the room, which is very spacious, very nice, beautifully done, beautifully maintained, down to the casino, which is much the same way. It just feels like a comfortable place to play. So you're surrounded by all of this beauty and excess, but at the same time, it doesn't overwhelm you. The casino itself is fine. Yeah, the table limits are going to be a little high if you play tables, but you can still find quarter video poker. You can still play those little penny slot machines. So most every game you're going to need is going to be at one of the two casinos. Drink service is generally very good. Quality of drinks here is very good. Now, again, along the same lines of price, you do pay a lot if you plan to eat here. You know, even if you just want to pick up a coffee and a roll in one of the sundry shops, it's expensive. But you are fairly close, as I mentioned, to Venetian and Fashion Show Mall, both of which have food courts. And the location, again, is not the best, but, you know, it's pretty good. Okay, so you'll notice most of the remaining properties are in a fairly small area in the sort of center-south part of the Strip. There's a reason for that. They all have what I would consider to be a pretty ideal location. I'll point out some small differences, but as we work our way through it, location won't be nearly as much of an issue because all of these properties are reasonably close to most all the other major casino resorts. Let's start with the Cosmopolitan. And I stayed at the Cosmopolitan once, nearly a decade ago. It was a spectacular room. It was supposed to be a spectacular room, but it was. I'm a bit torn at times on the Cosmopolitan. I think as far as pricing is concerned, the rooms tend to be a little overpriced. But as I said earlier, you do tend to get what you pay for. And what you pay for at the Cosmo in terms of rooms is much beyond just the comfort level of the room itself, but also the view. And the fact that you, unlike almost any other property in Las Vegas, have a terrace area where you can go outside and get some fresh air and in many cases get a breathtaking view of the city, whether it be to the south and the airport and the properties that direction, or the Bellagio and the fountains nearby. So it's a great choice there. It's also a great choice for food. You've got some pretty reasonably priced food options in that sort of mid-tier. You know, you've got the Secret Pizza. You've got the Block 16 food court. You've got even the Henry's coffee shop kind of place. So those are all some pretty reasonably priced food options, but you've also got an array of really good restaurants there. And it's in a very good location, as I mentioned. It's, you know, you literally walk down the Strip and walk in the door. So it's a great place there. The casino is, I find it a little bit small and a little bit confusing, but again, a good selection of games. Again, very good drink service. The place can get a bit wild at times, particularly on the weekends, because it does tend to attract a party crowd. So that can be a little bit of a negative. But if you just kind of sit back and chill and enjoy the experience, it can also be quite a sight to see. Our third property is the Aria, and it sits in the middle of the city center complex right next to Cosmopolitan. The Aria itself is set back probably a good city block from the Strip, so it's a little bit of a hike if you do stay there. You can cut through the Crystals Mall if you'd like. But I think it's one of the nicer properties on the Strip. I would say it's the nicest hotel in the MGM inventory, at least until they add Cosmopolitan sometime, probably later this year. I've had the opportunity to stay there a couple of times recently. Really, really nice. They have some really awesome suites. In fact, some spectacular suites if you stay in their Sky Suites location. It's a perfectly functional casino, does everything a casino needs to do. There's a lot of good restaurants on site. Just about every ethnic cuisine is represented, some top-notch chefs. Obviously, not a cheap place to eat. Even the hamburger joint is expensive. They call it posh burgers. You can grab a slice of pizza or some coffee or something like that. And again, you're pretty centrally located, so it's not that much of an obstacle. But like I said, I think it's a great place to stay and play. And so definitely keep in mind Aria if you're looking for quality. Our last two properties are more sort of down to earth, less expensive ones, also in that same general area. We'll start out with Planet Hollywood. This is the only property that I've mentioned that's part of the Caesars Rewards program. Though it may not be, it's one of the properties that they're rumored to be selling somewhere down the line. We shall see. It started out life as the Aladdin. Planet Hollywood has a number of things to recommend it. I think the rooms are nice and big for the money. You get like a separate tub and shower. I think that's always kind of a nice feature. They have some great views. I really like the casino as a place to play. There are a lot, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, of inexpensive food options nearby. Now, you have some great restaurants, obviously, in the area, but Planet Hollywood has some inexpensive spots. Their coffee shop, the Earl of Sandwich, and then there's 4 or 5 restaurants inside the attached Miracle Mile Mall, which also provide some really cheap eats, definitely for the Las Vegas Strip. So it's great for that. The mall itself is a mall that regular people could shop in. So like the Fashion Show Mall, it's a good place to pick up some supplies or just do a little bit of shopping while you're there. Now, they are renovating the Fashion Show Mall. Well, they might be renovating that too. They are also renovating the Miracle Mile shop, so there may be some noise there and some issues, but I suspect you'll still be able to get in there and take advantage of some of the great deals on site. Our final property is New York, New York. And I will say one thing about New York, New York. Of the properties that we've mentioned, the room quality here is probably a little lacking. The rooms are small, and it's been a while since they've gotten a good renovation. So keep that in mind before you stay there. I'll actually be staying there for the first time here in a couple of weeks, so I may adjust my thoughts on this. But my experience of New York, New York has been more with just the feel of the place, the casino, the restaurants, and that sort of thing. Like Planet Hollywood, there's a lot of inexpensive food options on site. I love their sort of food court, which is really this sort of old cobblestone streets that are meant to resemble Manhattan, where you can walk up and down and get a hot dog or a slice of pizza or a pastrami sandwich or something like that. I mean, there's some good restaurants on site, the steakhouse, the usual Las Vegas mix. But there are a lot of reasonably priced places to grab some food there. And also in the Park District next door, you have some nice fun bar and grill kinds of places. The Beer House comes to mind. You've got a Shake Shack. So it's a pretty good location, and you're right next door to Park MGM, where you have the whole Eataly complex. And really, you're next door to all of the South Strip, which is one of the reasons why I think this is a good choice. If you want to explore that area more, spend more time there. It's a compact enough property. It's pretty easy to get in and out of, and it's a good base of operation. It's also a good base of operation if you're seeing a concert or a game at the T-Mobile Arena or a concert next door at Park MGM. So I really like it from a lot of different perspectives, and I encourage you to check it out, spend some time there, see what you think about the place, and I'll let you know in a few weeks what I thought of the rooms, but that's definitely probably a weakness here, but I think just about everything else is a strength. Okay, that's going to wrap up my 5 favorites, or 5 of my favorite choices. There's so many other places I could have thrown in here. Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Cromwell, Bally's, or Horseshoe, whatever it's called these days. Pretty much all of the sort of iconic properties are worth spending time in. Flamingo, or Caesars, or Mirage, Bellagio, all of those spots. But, I had to narrow it down, and I thought this gave us kind of a nice sort of blend of upscale and moderately priced properties. But again, welcome your thoughts on the matter. Where are you most comfortable staying and playing on the Strip? Do you have a home, so to speak, or several homes? I'd be interested in knowing all about that. Okay, as I said at the beginning of the show, we're getting very close to our next Vegas trip, so make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on this video so that you don't miss any of that action. We'll be back with another one of those Wednesday shows during the week, and we'll be back next Saturday with another episode of Vegas Weekly. Until then, I hope that you have a great, lucky, and healthy week. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.